Yo, SGC here, and we're back with a movie review. Mr. Six. So this is a Chinese production movie, and I don't want to butcher the names all in English, Chinese. So I'll leave everything down below, and you can check down all the credits for the directors and the cast and all that. But I can tell you the plot in English. Basically, this is about Mr. Six. He lives in the suburbs of Beijing, and his son has been going out a lot, suddenly disappears. And then basically the entire film is him scoping out the young scene to find out where his son went and how can he get his son back. And that's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, I watched the trailer for this when I saw it, and I was like, okay, it's looks entertaining, but I'm not gonna go like, oh my goodness, must watch. But then a week ago, I was checking my normal Tuesday, so what should I watch today thing, and at one of the theaters, I realized that it sold out. All 4 showings of this movie sold out. I was like, whoa, that is really surprising. I've never seen that before. I mean, seriously, it's a 12 p.m. show to a 7 p.m. show. All 4 of them showed up. All 4 of them sold out. And it was just like, whoa, I must check it out. And I did. And I'm happy I did. Because, first of all, when I was watching it and the opening credits showed up and it was like Kris Wu. I'm like, oh, I know that guy. He's from EXO. Crap. Is it because he's in it that people are like dying to watch this film or something? But fortunately for me, it was a decent film and definitely was worth my while. So why was it worth my while? Well, basically, the cinematography, the storytelling, the soundtrack, the characters really speak for themselves in the sense where it was just great. In the sense where maybe I'm biased and I don't normally watch Chinese production films, so the cinematography really surprised me here. There was a lot of tracking shots and a lot of mundane activity sequences in the sense where he's just brushing his teeth or he's riding a bike, and definitely you could have cut that earlier. But they didn't, and I really love that because it really gives a sense of authenticity in the sense of these people are real. They're not a Hollywood trope or just this is for your entertainment. These are real life people, and it really sells you when the camera lingers on for a bit. And seriously, any film that does that wins points for me because it really tries to capture that, you know, slice of life feel, and this is not just pure entertainment, make you happy sort of thing. And now onto the pacing. The pacing is interesting in a sense where this movie is 2 hour-ish long. It's 136 minutes, but you feel that it's long, but at the same time, for me anyway, I was invested in these characters that I was like, no, I do not want this movie to end. I'm totally fine with this like longness of it all. And it's like totally the same feeling that I had for Star Wars, where I was just like, don't end this movie. I can stay here for 5-6 hours and I'm totally fine. Well, not for Mr. Six, not 5-6 hours, but I definitely could see myself watching this movie for three hours for sure. Because the characters are so rich here in the sense of their camaraderie, the family, the relationships, and it's just like really great to just invest time in them and to see how they pan out. And also another thing is that they don't really fit the normal 136-minute like mark of all these movies in the sense where, okay, an hour has passed, his son has to come back, they get better, they find themselves sort of thing. It changes that. The pacing here in a sense where the son's arc actually doesn't start until really late into the movie, and the relationship there is just great, the characters are great, the chemistry is just really great, and it's just really connects well to the theme and the soundtrack. See, the thing with this movie is that everything works so well together that I can't really break it apart and go like, this was great, this was great, this is great because of this, but rather this was great because of this thing, and both of them make it so great because they're together. So anyway, let's try to do that, but I don't know if that's going to work. But anyway, so the soundtrack helps the tone and everything, the pacing, tone, cinematography, the chemistry works here, the imagery, the themes really work well. I mean, at the end of the movie, or near the end, there's this epic, like, ice lake scene where they're going to have an epic showdown, and the first step Mr. Six does, it cracks the freaking ice. And it, like, for me anyways, totally relates to the whole fact that this movie is like a sheet of ice, where he did one thing, and it, like, blew up in his face, or not blew up, but like, it's like, the influence is spread so far and wide, and it's just like, that imagery was just great. And now the chemistry in a sense where the themes worked well was that Mr. Six and his son has this whole great scene in a restaurant about like future and just what are you gonna do with your life, or like why do you abandon me, sort of tons of issues, a very great scene. And it connects with the theme where there's an overlying theme of just respecting your elders and just watching your mouth. Like, this youth generation really needs to pick themselves up, sort of thing. And you have this like really like idealistic dude by the name of Mr. Six, and he's just like, yeah, you know, watch your mouth, I'm gonna smack it, like, do you kiss your mom with that mouth, sort of thing. And then when this scene happens, it like addresses that, like, can this guy who's super idealistic with everyone around him, can he do that with his own son? And then his son challenges him, and it's just really great cinematography, and the acting there was just great. I was just like, ugh, authenticity. But anyway, beyond that, everything else I had no problems with. Supporting cast was great, they did what they needed, they left, and sure, I think the biggest gripe would be the whole, like, do you believe Mr. Six's idealistic theme of respecting your elders? And as being a Chinese person, I totally get that, like, you know, old people, they're more experienced, blah, 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 you know, you just show them respect, and I'm like, yeah, you do. The current generation at times feel like they're just like, nope, I'm gonna chase my dreams, you know, thanks for feeding me, growing me, blah, 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 but I'm gonna chase my dreams and leave you in the dust, sort of thing. And it really connects with me in that sense. And I wonder if, like, people from China would find that, because it's just like, whoa, this guy, this, like, mafia guy, this, like, so there's a lot of, like, crazy foils and contrasts here. And I really did enjoy that. So you would go like, why am I even doing this movie review? Because it's that great. I really enjoyed it enough that I, even though I normally don't do like Chinese films in English reviews, but this one, I definitely deserved your viewership. Because realistically, I think even from an American audience standpoint, when you watch this stuff, it's just like, even from a Western audience standpoint, when you watch this stuff, you're like, whoa, you know, China has some great stuff there. It's not just like, you know, them being a communist and waving a red flag, stereotypical of them. But here, this movie, the cinematography is just great. If this was a Western production, I would still rave about it, because it's just that great. And if these actors were somehow, like, Westernized, and if someone can do the same performance, great stuff. But I mean, like, the fact that it's Chinese, I think it's going to deter some audiences on not watching it. But I seriously am doing this review for the sake of, don't be that person. Please, check it out. This is great. Like, Chinese production stuff has been, like, picking up, and it's like, I'm so happy for their industry that they're, like, getting bigger and bigger and more ambitious about, like, plots and stuff. And seriously, this here is just great. Like, sure, if I had to give you a blur for Western audiences, it would be like Taken, but in real life, in the sense where it's Beijing suburbs, and this kid disappears, and this dad has to find him, and he was a previous mafia, and he could totally went guns blazing, action your ass to the ground. But does he do that? Who knows? You gotta watch the film. So, yeah, basically that's it. So if you have seen it, leave your comment down below. And as always, I'm starting this for a new year, is that if you want to read my reviews, check down below for that WordPress link. I'm there. I update that much more often than I'm doing this now, because I'm watching way too many films, and it's like my mind needs to vacate. So check that stuff down there. I even have my top 40 down there. Spoiler, that video is probably going to come up sooner or later. Hopefully a lot sooner than I think it's going to be. But if you want to know, check down that list in that WordPress. And yeah, so that's it for this movie review for Mr. Six. Latest.